This is a street in Dublin. I didn't realize there'd be no cars coming by when I started shooting because I thought I'd make a clever quip about cars being on the wrong side of the road. Oh, here comes one. There you go. See? Wrong side. It's very dangerous to drive here because, as you can see, all the cars are on the wrong side of the road. Anyway, this is the view from our hospital room. Here's a little bunk bed thing where Alex and I, this is mine, this is Alex's. Here's Alex himself. Say hi, Alex.
Hi.
That's what I thought he'd say. So this is our hostel room. There's a little bathroom in here. There's me, as always, taking pictures of myself.
It also has the light out there, the street light.
Yes, there's a street light outside, so it kind of is bright in here in the night. You can hear the noise from the street very, very clearly. That's it basically. We're gonna go out now. This is our first full day here. We got in yesterday morning. We came to the room. Alex wanted to go out again, but I was brain fried, so I went to sleep.
It was hard to sleep because of jet lag.
Yeah, we haven't slept a really solid period of time. When we came back last evening, I slept for about maybe an hour and a half or so. And then we were up for a good portion of the night, then we went back to bed, and I may have slept for a few minutes, and Alex only slept for a minute or two as well.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, we're going to go out and spend the day looking around Dublin, look at some stuff, play tourist. Then we're going to come back and try to get a solid night's sleep. I may change rooms, just to see if they've got an empty room that won't be on the street. It'll maybe be quieter. Good idea? This is our third full day in Dublin. Kind of our fourth day, actually. We've slept here 3 times. But the first day was sort of lost to jet lag. But we are in St. Stephen's Green. There's a little area that is in remembrance of Yeats. Here's a little bronze statue. Here's Alex, as excited as always.
Well, you just don't talk to me about global warming.
Yeah, we were talking about global warming. About how hopeless it is and how we're all going to die and horrible things. And this is a very well-known park in Dublin. It's very, very nice. There's all kind of landscaping and pretty trees, and there's some of the ubiquitous tropical plants over there. You can kind of see them through the trees. Kind of a palm-looking thing. And all kind of stuff. It's very, very lush here. Stuff grows very easily, apparently. And over there, past those trees, is a National Art Gallery, which we might go see later. Then there's the place where Oscar Wilde was born and where he lived. Over there is a hotel where James Joyce met Nora Barnacle. There's a building over there somewhere where the Duke of Wellington was born. Look at Alex, he's so happy. He gets bored in like 10 seconds. And that's all. This is a very nice little park. It's kind of warm outside. It's probably mid-50s or maybe, yeah, probably mid-50s and pretty humid. It's rained earlier, but it's kind of nice now. The sky is bluish.
Your house.
That's all.
Next door we have the Natural History Museum. It's sort of the kiddies' favourite. It's known locally as the Dead Zoo because it's stuffed full of stuffed animals. But it has a world-famous research department into the study of entomology. Now we know that's the study of bugs and insects. And it really is only a coincidence it's next door there to those government buildings. Again on your right we have the Department of An Taoiseach. An Taoiseach is another Gaelic word. It means leader or chieftain. And that's where a leader or chieftain, well, that's where he runs the country from. His name is Bertie Ahern. He must be doing something right because he's halfway through his second term of office. Now I'll just finish up about Georgia and Dublin because as I said we're right in the middle of some fine examples of Georgian architecture. And look around you folks. Dublin is Georgian. Basically what it means is that the city we see as we're driving around was built during the reign of the first 4 King Georges of England. Now, England had lots of King Georges, but the first 4 were in a row, and simply anything built or constructed or designed during that period is referred to as Georgian. And that period, roughly between 1700 and 1820, that's when the city was built. Now, a typical Georgian house, as I said. Well, first of all, it's usually of red brick. You got 4 stories over basement. You got those lovely wooden panel doors, and over the doors you have those half lights or those fan lights, and there's the windows. You got the wrought iron railings, the wrought iron balconies, the granite steps, the coal holes, the boot scrapers. And that's a fine, fine house, but who could afford a house like that in 1700s Dublin? Well, it wasn't your ordinary Dubliner. Those houses were built for wealthy people, merchants, senior civil servants, professionals. And if that's a typical Georgian house, and Dublin is a Georgian city, the whole city was built for wealthy people, because that's what Dublin was. One of the most wealthy, elegant cities in Europe. It was a real party town, there was a great buzz. But tragically, Dublin was built for 2 halves, the haves and the have-nots, and never the two would meet. Now folks, we're coming out onto St Stephen's Green, which is the park straight ahead of you there. It's a beautiful parkway in the centre of town, really well laid out, lots of water features, much loved by us ordinary Dubliners, because us Dubliners, we consider that park to be a little bit of heaven here in the middle of this damn city sometimes. Because Dublin can be heaven, with coffee at 11 and a stroll in Stephen's Green. No need to worry, no need to hurry, you're a king and the lady's a queen. Grafton Street's a wonderland, there's magic in the air. There are diamonds in the ladies' eyes and gold dust in their hair. And if you don't believe me, come and meet me here in Dublin on a sunny Thursday morning. Yeah, folks, this is stop number 7, a little bit of heaven here on the left-hand side of the top end of Grafton Street. We get to the Stephen's Green Shopping Centre, and this will also be the stop for the National Museum and the National Library. Stop, give her a shot. Stop number 7, folks. Well, there's a bar here on your left, a little more famous than most, and that's the clue, a little, because it's the littlest, it's the smallest bar in town. Here on your left, Ron Black's Dawson Lounge is like the entrance to a telephone box. The red glass panel door there. Through the door, down some steps, small basement. There's only room for 15 people down there in that bar, folks, and that includes the bar staff. Now, you sort of have a handle on Georgian Dublin, well, a little bit anyway. Over on your right hand side, we've got a fine example of a Georgian mansion. It's actually called the Mansion House, and it's the home of our Lord Mayor, and it has been since 1713.
Palm trees?
Now, we change our Lord Mayors here in Dublin every July. Our current Lord Mayor is a man called Coonahan. Again on your right we have St Anne's Church. It's a lovely church in its own right, made a little more famous by another well-known Dublin writer, and that's Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker was married in that church.
Wow.
And if Bram Stoker doesn't ring any bells, folks, I guarantee you Dracula will, because well, he was the creator of that Transylvanian vampire, Dracula. And if you're a fan of Dracula, there's actually a museum dedicated to him in the city. The original book, by the way, is on display in the Dublin Writers' Museum at stop number 2, and the word Dracula, we believe, evolved from an old Gaelic word, and that old Gaelic word is Drachul, and literally translated into the English, it means bad blood. Now, if you're trying to get your bearings, we've gone around on a bit of a loop here in Dublin. We're back around at Trinity College. The side entrance is in there on your right hand side, and it's into another lovely gallery, by the way, again free of charge. This time it's the Douglas Hyde Gallery, and Douglas Hyde, well, he was the first president of Ireland, and he was elected in 1937. Now, a lot of famous characters associated with Dublin down through the years. One more famous than most would have to be dear Molly Malone. Well, Molly Malone, she was immortalised in brass here on your right hand side. She's on the island. She's the most photographed statue in the city, by the way. And she sold cockles and mussels on that barrel. Cockles and mussels, by the way, are a type of shellfish. Somebody put a Christmas tree in front of Molly Malone, so you only get a quick glimpse of her. But folks, I want you to look at her carefully there on your right as we pass by, because then you'll understand why we call her our national treasure chest. And she's known affectionately by the people of Dublin as the tart with the cart, folks. So this is stop number 8. It's for the Molly Malone statue. And of course the Dublin Tourism Centre. If you want to find out about anything at all that's happening in the city, book a car, show, theatre, hotel, whatever, this is where it's at. Stop Iverhout. Stop number 8, folks. Now folks, we can't really pass by the Molly Malone statue without in Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone. Folks, as we drive up the streets, you want to look down to your right hand side, those narrow cobble streets, so they lead all the way down to the River Liffey and up as far as you can see. Narrow cobble streets full of small speciality shops, little bars, restaurants, cafes, galleries. It's a great place to have a nose around in the open areas, especially with the sunshine. You're going to get some street music and street theatre. You got some markets down there that specialise in food from every corner of the world. Food you can buy, take with you and eat on the hoof as you're having a go down look around. This part of Dublin, by the way, more busy at 3:30 a.m. than any other time of the day, because that's when the clubs and pubs are winding down for the evening. People are out in the street, they're looking for food, looking for transport, and a lot looking to get lucky as well, I suppose. So this is stop number 9, Temple Bar, stop Inverness. Any takers, folks? All quiet. So away we go. And we're coming up to stop number 10. Now this is the second phase of Dublin's development I mentioned earlier. We had the Vikings, they were here for 160 years, eventually chased out of Ireland by a famous Irish king by the name of Brian Boru. That was in the early 11th century, and not too long after that, along came the Normans. They built a wall around the city, and they built Dublin Castle. And that's when Dublin developed or evolved into that medieval wall city. It remained like that for the next 3.5 centuries, and that was the boring part of Dublin's history, because nothing really happened for those 3.5 centuries. Everything stayed the same. There was no progress. It was known as the Dark Ages, and that described it perfectly. Dark, dismal, damp, dreary. But anyway, Dublin Castle was completed in 1204 by King John I, and it was the centre of that medieval wall city Dublin once was. The central power here in Ireland for more than 700 years, and the home and workplace of the Viceroy of Ireland. That was the King's right-hand man. This is where he ran the country from, folks. The entrance is there on your left-hand side, and if you're going to visit Dublin Castle and its environs, I'd set aside a bit of time, because there's lots to see there. Dublin Castle, the City Hall, the 13th century record tower, the Chapel Royal, the Chester Beatty Library. Lots to see. Give you an idea how big that area is. Well, I actually have 3 cafes or snack bars in there. So stop number 10, Dublin Castle, and the place there on your right hand side is the River Liffey. And at the top of the hill there's a slope, and it slopes down to an area known as Wood Quay. And that's where the Vikings moored their longships in the middle of that 9th century. They walked up to the top of the hill here, folks, and this is where they looked around and said, this looks like a nice place to settle. The sun must have been shining that day. Because this area we're just driving through now at the moment is the birthplace, or was the birthplace, of Dublin. But the Vikings, they built their homes out of wood and wattle. And wattle is a sort of an old-fashioned cement or mortar. Didn't last the test of time, folks. The only thing that has survived since the Viking period in this part of town are some of the street names. Now over on your right hand side we have the first of the 2 cathedrals we'll be passing by in Dublin this morning. Those cathedrals, by the way, are Church of Ireland. They're both working cathedrals, and what I mean by that is that they have daily services. Now visitors are more than welcome. It's the only way they can generate the income or revenue needed to keep the buildings in such good repair. And I think you'll agree that Christ Church on your right hand side there is in good repair. And it's the older of the 2. It dates back to around dates back to around 1038, and it's joined, by the way, to the Synod Hall by that covered archway, and that covered archway has to be one of the most famous landmarks in Dublin. And in the Synod Hall there's an exhibition on at the moment called Dublinia. Now, I said that Dublin was a medieval walled city, but Dublinia is like stepping back in time, because you're back in a life-size street come market scene. You get to wander into people's homes to see how they were living, what they were wearing, what they were eating, down to the market to see what they were buying, what they were selling. It's a great flavour or insight into what, not just what it was like to live in Dublin at that time. It was basically the same all over Europe. St. Patrick's Day. Do you know that we don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day here in Dublin anymore? We celebrate St. Patrick's 4 days. One hell of a party here in March every year, folks. You might check it out sometime. But anyway, St. Patrick's Cathedral was built outside of that wall that surrounded Dublin. This area down here is known as the Liberties, and traditionally the Liberties was the wrong side of the tracks, the poor end of town. And up until quite recently, this part of the city still qualified. We had an economic boom which is still sort of going on at the moment, and as a result, all the red brick property on your right hand side has been built in the last 10 years or so. It's given the place a great facelift. But anyway, St. Patrick's Cathedral coming into view. I think you'd agree, another fine building. This is the younger. This one dates to around 1192. And the most famous dean associated here with St. Patrick's would have to be Jonathan Swift. Dean for more than 30 years, 1713 to 1745. Another famous Dublin writer, by the way. He wrote lots of books, but his most famous is probably Gulliver's Travels. But when Jonathan took up the deanery here in 1713, he got a bit of a shock or a surprise, because he arrived to a cathedral that's really in bad repair. To give you an idea, one of the actual wings of it had been used as a stable for horses. So he was a wealthy man, a lot of influence. He's basically responsible for the condition you see the cathedral in today. And after Jonathan Swift's time, the Guinness family were great benefactors. And behind the railings there on the left hand side we have a statue of Benjamin Lee Guinness. And I believe he had to sit down for that, because in his hand is the bill for the new roof, folks. He got such a shock. But in today's terms, that bill would equate to about 5 million euros, folks. You know, young families, young couples, they bring money back into it, and well, give it a new lease at 59. This is James's Gate. Arthur Guinness, the founder of the Guinness Brewery, arrived here in this part of Dublin in that year. He had with him 2 things. He had the recipe for that famous stout, and he had £100 in his back pocket. The £100, by the way, was left to him by an uncle in a will, and £100 in 1759 was a lot of poke, a lot of money. Anyway, Arthur was looking for somewhere to brew. There was a brewery there on 4 acres that was in a bit of trouble financially. Arthur did a deal. He got the brewery on the 4 acres for £45 a year rent. Now that was a good deal, but the deal got better, because he got a lease for 9,000 years, no rent reviews. Now if you had a job in Guinness's then or now, they employed thousands of people down through the years. Very few people left Guinness's. They usually retired from it. The conditions were so good, because when Arthur started the brewery in 1759, he paid his workers 20% more than the going rate. He had health and pension schemes before they were fashionable. First company in Ireland to pay holiday pay. He built flats, houses, apartments for his workers, and made them available at a sort of reduced or a subsidised rent. On top of all that, each member of staff were entitled to drink 2 pints of Guinness a day each for free. And that's the hop store there on your left hand side, folks. The museum is over 5 floors, and it brings you through the history of brewing in Ireland. The highlight, by the way, is a pint of Guinness that's served to you in the Gravity Bar. The Gravity Bar, by the way, is a pub. It's at the top of the house, made from glass, and there you get a bird's eye 360-degree view of the city. If you're going to visit the Guinness Brewery, folks, make sure to bring along the brochure you got with your ticket, because there's a discount voucher on it. Stop number 13, Stad Ibrahim Treaty, the Guinness Brewery.
It's a very cool building inside. With a huge glass structure. The area here smells like Guinness now. They're brewing their beer, or they're roasting their barley or something, but it smells very rich.
Where we go? Now we have a sort of a top 10 of most visited attractions here in Dublin. First consistently is the Book of Kells in Trinity College. Second, the Guinness Brewery, and running in at number 3 is the Dublin Zoo, folks. Now here on your right hand side there's some posters that Guinness used to use in the old days to advertise their product. 2 of them had to be sort of banned. Well, that one there with him carrying the girder on his head, Guinness for strength, that had to be dropped. And of course that one with the tortoise or turtle, have a Guinness when you're tired, eh? I was very tired last night, I had to have 5 of them. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes. I've been a wild rover for many years. I spent all me money on whiskey and beer. I went into an alehouse I used to frequent.
Sounds like Maliki.
And I told the landlady my money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Sure, it's your kind of custom I get every day, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. Now folks, a few more things about Guinness before we call it a wrap, because that 4 acres that Arthur started out with is now more than 60. It's like a little town within the city. They make they brew 10 million glasses of Guinness here every day, folks. But when Arthur got the lease here in 1759, he met a young lady called Olivia Whitmore. They fell in love, they got married, and they moved into the house which is there on your left hand side. Now Arthur and Olivia must have got on pretty well, folks, because they had 21 children in that house. We have a saying here in Ireland that Guinness is good for you. Must be good for something, eh? Actually, if the truth be known, Guinness is probably responsible for half the population of Ireland. As I said, it's like a little town within the city. They make or brew 10 million glasses of Guinness here every day. I'm glad to tell you that the water they use for that Guinness does not come from the River Liffey, which is just today. It's the biggest enclosed park in Europe. You can walk or drive around the perimeter there, so you're walking or driving for more than 7 miles. There was a royal hunting lodge built, and they said that Dublin was a real party town in the 1700s. Well, this is where the real parties were at. Didn't get invited to a party in the park in the 1700s, well, you weren't on the A list. Now the park at the time was stocked with over 3,000 head of wild deer and other wild animals. And there are still some wild deer in the park today, about 200 head, but they're protected these days, you can't go out hunting them. And with a bit of luck, we might get to see some of them. But I don't know whether they've been hiding for the last while or not, but it's been a while since I've seen any wild deer here in the park. But I'm sure they're still around. So we're going to take a spin up to the next roundabout. Now this park today, well, that Royal Hunting Lodge with a few modifications has become Áras an Uachtaráin, and Áras an Uachtaráin is Gaelic for the House of the President. We'll have a look at that in a few minutes. But it's the centre of every sport you can imagine. You have your own our own local sports here, like Gaelic football and hurling. But we also have hundreds of playing fields for cricket, rugby, hockey, soccer. There's polo grounds, there's horse riding stables, and tennis, and you name it. The park is a hive of activity. It's also closed down nearly every other weekend for some event or another, favoured for rock concerts, motor car racing, bike racing. The record crowd attracted to a rock concert here in the park. Summer before last, 100,000 people or just over came to see Robbie Williams. Last July, 82,500 to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So it is a hive of activity, and there's no sign of any wild deer. As I said, they usually hang out over there on your left. And the biggest ever crowd gathered was, I said earlier that the population of Ireland is roughly 4.5 million people. Well, in 1979, 1.3 million people gathered over there on your left hand side. You see the outline of the white cross through the trees there. And that's when Pope John Paul II arrived here now. And the only time a Pope ever arrived, since or before, he celebrated Mass over there. 1.3 million people, a third of the population gathered that day.
Wow.
Now we have the American ambassador living in here as well. And the reason the American ambassador is living is that we had a famine here in Ireland which started in 1845. It lasted 7 years. Over 1 million people died of hunger. 1 million people emigrated. And a lot of them headed towards America. And those that actually survived the crossing or the voyage across the Atlantic, oh, when they got to America, they were telling the Americans how bad things were back here in Ireland. Now, the American people, but more notably, a native Indian tribe called the Choctaw, sent back corn and wheat. And it was a great help at that time. And it was as a thank you for that help during that dark period. We can't see the house, folks, but we can see the entrance to it there on the left hand side. It was given to the American people, and the American president decided to house his ambassador in it.
We're in Sneem in our bed and breakfast. It is about 9 o'clock in the morning, so we're kind of running late here, sleeping in. Just had our shower, so it's really foggy. It's the street outside our bed and breakfast. It's awesome. There's our car, the gold one. The room's kind of messy. We've done our bit to it, but it's really comfortable. It's quiet. It's nice. It's warm. It's a big old Victorian house. There's lots of rooms over here. There's a room over there. There's a cool room up here. Up the stairs. It's a good family room. It's all wood, and nice little podium here, and a really huge bathroom, and 2 smaller beds over here. If you got a family, it'd be a great place to stay if you can get room 26. Now we're gonna go back down the stairs into the main area. Doom, 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 doom. Around townhouse, as you can see. Alex is having bread with butter on it now because the landlady's not yet awake. But here's all kind of cereal and milk and orange juice and fruit and yogurt, coffee. You can plug in your computer here, and there are some flowers over there. It's a very nice place. We're happy that we stayed here. We're happy if we can find some breakfast. This is the seaside resort town of Kinsale. This is our little room here. It's a really cute little town. It's on Kinsale Bay, where a big battle was fought in 1601 that they're still pissed off about. Here I am in the mirror, looking well rested. I've been eating a ton. I'm gonna get a gut again, but I can live with that for a little while. Here's Alex packing up our room. Look how happy he looks. So excited. Here's our packing. We're almost out of clothes. We have to do some laundry soon because we didn't bring enough clothes for a full 2 weeks. So we're 1 week into our trip, a little bit more than a week actually, and we're running out. I've been wearing these pants for 3 days now, and they're starting to get a little bit rancid. But this is the San Antonio bed and breakfast. It's a grand old house. It's nicely renovated. There's a lot of little decor here that's interesting, and little side rooms and little pieces of furniture in the hallway. Very nice. And we've been having truly wonderful breakfasts. All the cool decor. It's an old Victorian house, probably. I don't know, 1800s. I'm sure it was built. And all the cool stuff in here. And oops, we can meet June. Here's where we had breakfast. Doing a little video camera thing here, documenting our trip. This is our host and excellent cook. I ate about a half a loaf of his bread this morning. I think I'm well satiated. And the TV room over here. And I'll do some more outside later. I don't know if you can hear me, there's a lot of bird noises here off in the distance. We're on the road from Kinsale to Clonkilty. We're heading to Kerry, where tomorrow we'll be driving on the Ring of Kerry and seeing the Killarney National Forest. But this is just a little roadside area here, it's a little bay. Kind of a salt marsh, I suppose, is what it probably exactly is. This is even a good spot to just stop for pictures. It's been really sunny and warm and nice the whole time that I've been here. I just have my just t-shirt on and pants, even though it's December 1st, I think. Maybe it's the 28th of November, I'm not sure. But it's just about December if it's not December now. And it's very pretty. And it's just a regular little area where the road turns. Nothing special. It's definitely cowy around here. They probably graze cattle here at some point. Maybe it's farm runoff. We should probably go, Alex. I think that this is an actual road here that we're on. And we're probably blocking it. Like that vehicle there might be coming this way, so let's go. We are at Bantry House, which apparently has some correlation to the White family. It's unfortunately closed now. It's the off season, so you don't really see anything. But it's very nice. Look around, it kind of looks like a southern. We are outside of Killarney National Forest. Not actually in the forest yet, but we are on the way. Here's Alex poking over some rocks. And here's a nice view here of the loch. As you can see, it goes off a ways there. It's very wet here and very lush. It's the off season, so some of the grass is dead, but we've still seen a lot of stuff growing. There's a lot of green areas too, of course. The grass here is very carpet-like. This is probably recently sheep-eaten, so it's not very nice, but there's spots where it's about 3-4 inches thick. It's just big massive grass that goes down a ways. That's the best stuff to walk on because it's not muddy. You know, it stops your feet from getting all muddied up. And we're going to go on in a minute, and this road's very scenic, so I might actually take part of the road while I'm driving it. And then we're going to go hike in Killarney National Forest, and then try to head up towards Galway, because that's the next place I wanted to see. I heard Galway is really nice. But it's a pretty long drive, so I don't know if we'll really make it. It's steepy. We're in a road in Killarney National Forest. There's a lot of big nice trees here and there's a lake to our right. Actually, I think we're going to be seeing in a few seconds. It was really cool last night when we couldn't see anything around us. It's particularly neat. Okay. Entrance to Muckross House Gardens. Wow. Dunting cars for hire. There's somewhere to go in. I don't know how to go in. I think the park is closed. Oh, what do you say that we park here and walk into it?
Okay.
Okay, well, there's a little waterfall right into our national forest. It's a pretty cloudy day, it's overcast, it's December, so it's winter. Point out there's a foam. There's a lot of foam down there. They always point out the water's really clear.
Yep.
See right to the bottom. Everything's really mossy. There's a huge trees over here.
Yeah.
120, 130 feet. Yeah. And these plants look semi-tropical around here. Goes across the way. Plants shiny leaves. Here's a view from a little bit higher up in Killarney National Forest. And if you could just see it below us, there's a huge waterfall and the rapids, and just picture it. It's so gorgeous. I'm sure that in your mind's eye, you are just taken aback by the beauty of it. And over there is like a big lawn area. It's probably a golf course or something.
Killarney National Golf Course.
Probably. And there's some locks beyond it. And to the right there's some mountainous areas, but once again there's trees in the way. You know, it'd be a great forest if it weren't for all those goddamn trees. I'm turning Irish now, I'm starting to swear more.
Yeah.
You know, isn't a huge fucking deal, as they say. That's good.
It's recording.
This is a little place in Killarney National Forest. You've been following a truck trail, but it's a trail that's for tourists to bring up the hill, but we are strong and young, so we just walked up the hill instead. We're not some old English people here for a little holiday walk. So look up at the moss in the trees.
Yeah, I did.
Kind of up at the top. There's Spanish moss in the upper branches. Everything here is all mossy. Let's look around. This tree here is all covered in moss. This is the middle of County Kerry, Ireland. Supposedly the last real undisturbed old-growth forest left in Ireland. This is how it was for thousands of years after the Ice Age left. The Ice Age left. After the glaciers retreated, this is what it left behind until it got turned into sheep pastures and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, you're gonna look at my face again? You're kind of off there, though. That's probably a very bad view of my face. So, we're gonna go up this trail. I think there's a hilltop over here that we can get to. Well, why don't you take the first few seconds of going up it?
Yep. Oh. Okay. 5 seconds.
Oh, we're most of the way up a little mountain hill type thing in Killarney National Park. Got a pretty good view up here. A lot of nice forest pictures back here that they've been taking. A little clearing, a little lookout over the locks. The little peninsula. Yeah, point up the hill a little bit here and show that there's still more to go with the peaks in the clouds. Do you see anything in particular?
Just more trees and stuff
Oh, okay.
like that.
So we're gonna keep going up the hill, see if we can get into the clouds yet. That'd be pretty cool.
If we go, oh yeah, if we go up there, we
Yeah.
might. Yeah.
Up to the right, the path goes up the hill.
Yep.
Are you still taping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go learn.
Turn around behind you.
Okay, so here's where we're.
And
Here's where we're going.
here's the forest around us.
Very mossy.
And I hear a little waterfall ahead too. There's birds calling. It's very benign. It'd be pretty nice to camp here, I think.
Yeah. You
You could just you set up your campsite anywhere and be soft under your tent. It's all mossy. And I feel pretty safe.
Yeah.
Camping here.
We haven't seen any signs saying no camping.
No, we haven't, but I think you probably can. It is a national forest after all. Well, there might be at certain campsites. I don't know. Probably really pretty if you weren't all covered in branches.
Yeah.
Look up into the left. See looking rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder how much rain Ireland gets.
Yeah, probably real lot.
It's rained every day here, I think, pretty much. I mean, even days that was sunny, it would rain a little bit in the morning or
Yeah.
at night it would rain.
Even if it's a little drizzle.
It's something, so probably a lot of rainfall in Florida.
Yep.
Stand of something. There's this bush that covers a lot of the forest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spots that would be nice to walk through, but you really can't because the bush is so thick.
It grows too easily around here.
You can't even like hardly put your hand into the brambles because they're so completely full of plant life. Yes, here's some that are chopped down by the Forest Service.
Yeah.
To keep the trail clear. It's some plant that was brought in by gardeners. And little did they know what would happen.
Ooh.
What is it?
Yeah.
Ooh, footprints. Someone's been here.
Darn. So we can't claim this land for ourselves.
Yep. Another lookout.
Yeah.
I don't see any more trail going. Oh, there's a little trail over there. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
I don't know if we go on that one.
Oh, there's more of a trail here.
Oh, good.
I can hear cars.
Oh boy, that's awesome. They're everywhere. Earthquake! The Irish earthquakes of 2004.
That was him.
That was them. No damage done. Are you still taping?
Yeah.
Have you been doing it the whole time?
Yeah.
Cool. We actually brought this camera with us on the plane, and it was Mom's camera, and I wasn't too keen on bringing with more weight, so I'm glad they were getting some use out of it.
Yep.
Now it's worth it, having taped all our walks, taking walks through the forest.
Yeah. We have 126 minutes left.
Yeah, I know. We have plenty, don't we?
Mhm.
Fortunately, that camera converts from European voltage, or its power supply does rather.
Yeah.
So there was no
So-
harm done.
Pretty old fences around here.
And there's like little mosses on or lichens on here that look like little boogers or something. And they feel like it too. Ah! No, no, nothing. It's like little orange globs, and that's not gonna work.
What?
I think they'll focus so close to the lens.
Yeah. Listen.
Let's go up the hill.
Yep. Should we still record?
Maybe just stop for a few minutes.
Alright.
A little spring in the mountains near Killarney. There's probably some really good water in there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drink it myself, however.
Mm.
Because, you never know. Some German tourists might have thought it's funny to poo in there. So, let's just kind of stay away from that for the time being.
Very clear water.
Really? And if you look up a little bit, there's a little stone hut up there. I don't know what that is, if it was someone lived there, like a hermit, or
Yep.
if it was built recently for like a little tourism thing, or there's no signs to tell us what it is. But I'm guessing it's pretty old, actually. And it looks like it's really overgrown, and maybe, I don't know. That spring had some concrete on it, so that could be patching.
Little bench.
Oh yeah, this is like there's mortar in the walls, but that could be a newer thing.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if it's old or not, but it's really neat.
There's a couple of windows in it.
I could definitely see like living in a place like this. Couldn't you? We could get some cable TV,
Yeah.
a microwave. Just as long as I have my laptop, I'd be okay. And some like good food, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, like a solar panel outside for a laptop.
If you have food and laptop, I think that's all you basically need in life. And plus, we're near where they brew Murphy's Oatmeal Stout, so I could have a case dropped off every week or so.
Yep.
And we'd be okay.
This might be a good place to run from something.
Yeah, like if there's some kind of terrorist thing happening.
Not the Green Island.
Not like in Ireland, no. But, where you?
Hand.
Oh, the hand. Because it's a 10,000-year-old hand! Ah! Ah! Ah!
It's 10,000-year-old David.
Only 32, come on. Give me a break here. I'm old enough as it is.
However, if someone lived here, they had a good view.
Sure did. Particularly a bit before, like Heather got here, or whatever the hell that plant is. I forget. Look, there's even a little fringe over the doorway.
Yeah. Very neat. They could have fringe curtains.
Yeah. You just grow vines over your windows, and then, if you wanted to close your windows, you'd have to wait until the vines grow over again. Close the curtains, honey? Let it close in about a month and a half.
The spring. Well. Misty mountains.
Spring kind of fed the waterfall. I guess we're kind of entering the clouds now.
Yeah. Cool.
We're almost there. It's really not very cold. I actually took my jacket off because I was too warm going uphill.
I'm getting warm too.
So it's really not bad for the 1st of December. I can get used to this kind of winter season. Another view of the lakes.
Yep. With a very secure fence here.
Oh yeah, this fence will definitely stop us from hurting ourselves.
I feel very safe with it.
Lawsuit proof.
All you have to do now is touch a sheep, and then it'll be Irish Island tourists.
Yep. Quote, touch the sheep. You're really forced to force feed a sheep a pint of Guinness. And then take it to go see a movie.
Why?
It's just the Irish thing
We've been treading the really harsh path, and Dave was just happy about it. Because we're getting to see the real Ireland, pretty much as it was before it was all chopped up. Yes, thank you, David. So, I guess this is the idea of a bridge.
This path has been pretty rough so far, actually. It's been, a lot of it's just been That's the good part over here. Maybe in a little spot where it's just kind of rocks and mud and really narrow. And I kind of actually slid off the path at one point.
Yep, he almost fell down with the fence was there.
Yeah. Well, I grabbed stuff too.
Yeah.
But it was pretty slick. And there's a lot of flat rocks and it's not very well trod. You know, like no one comes here.
Yeah.
Or not very often anyway. But yeah, the little waterfall type thing. You can
I think I'm gonna turn this off for a second.
Good idea.
Okay, so we just crossed this. It's
Rocks
pretty,
are real
yeah, really. And some of them are kind of loose too.
Where the waterfall comes from.
Yep. What?
That's where the waterfall comes from. There's nothing much more of a hill up here.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of springs, I guess.
Ooh, look at this. There's kind of a little path going up. Oh.
But we're not gonna take that.
No, I'll spoil sport.
Yeah.
We haven't been really. I keep thinking there's gonna be a path going come up to the peak, but there hasn't really been one so far.
No.
It's not a really good one.
Well.
This is kind of going alongside the. Oh, by the way, after I said we should turn back, Alex overruled me,
Yeah.
and so we were going on.
So if we die, it's my fault.
Punish Alex for being dead.
Yeah. So, this is kind of what it's been like. Some moss. Okay. Yeah. If Dave falls, he's taking me with him.
I won't fall.
Okay.
Whoa! These weird little plants over here.
Yeah, they have kind of brown, light green stuff.
Like little squids or something.
Ew, very squishy.
I don't know what they are. But
Land anemones.
they kind of look like that, yeah. Look at this path up here.
Here's what we're going to be going up.
Are you actually taping all this time?
Yeah, I'm taping.
That's pretty good.
Ankle.
Very dexterous of you.
Whenever we go hiking, Mom would usually call me like the mountain goat. Just,
Ooh, it's not gonna walk.
ooh.
Well, I don't know.
Come on,
That
come
way?
on. Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be not fun to go back down.
We can do it. Well, okay.
I just don't want to get like totally. I mean, we're like really far from our car.
Yeah.
I heard that that's not you farting.
Yeah.
Well, the forest.
Yeah.
The forest must smell weird.
The forest farts. Mold farts.
That's probably it.
Composting stuff. This seems kind of sturdy enough.
What, this trail here?
Well, no, we're holding on to.
Yeah, the tree's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to fall and get
Oh,
hospitalized.
we're running out of battery, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, how lame. Okay, in that case,
yeah.
we are going up the mountain. We're going to totally have an awesome time, but you just can't see it. It's too
Yep.
bad.
Ah.
Morning in Galway. We got in here last night. I was watching a little thing on TV about the Royal British Air Force and their secret factories. We just helped a lady change her tire. Someone else is staying here because her husband's in the hospital. She has a little Audi A3 and the tire went flat. And we helped her change it because we're awesome Americans. And Alex is really tired. He had a long night of sleep that wore him out. just gotta take it easy this morning because all that sleep plump tuckered him out. It's Friday and we're leaving Sunday, so we're just gonna kind of poke around Galway a little bit. Not the city itself, but we're gonna go north of Galway. There's an area called Conmera. It's supposed to be really scenic, and so we're gonna head up there and check out Conmera, and come back here in the evening. There's a cool restaurant called Fat Freddy's we're gonna have a look at. Yeah, maybe try the vegetarian place too, so you see what they're like. Galway is really cool. I'm gonna leave the camera plugged in so it'll charge up. Maybe we can tape a little Galway this evening. Shoot a few pictures. And that's all. We just had a really good breakfast. The people who own this place are really nice, and we all changed a tire, and we're all good friends now. In a unique Irish way. But anyhow, don't know what else to say. Yesterday we went through County Clare. We stayed at a pretty crappy motel in Ennis. This place is much nicer, and it's cheaper too. So you never know what you're gonna get when you just pull in someplace along the road. But this one here is pretty good. At least we got a good breakfast. Yesterday we saw the Cliffs of Moher. And we went to go see a cave, which was nice, but it was no Carlsbad. And it was 13 euros, so about $19. Maybe not quite worth it, huh? But we're on vacation, so what the hell. And we saw a castle or two. There's a little Neolithic grave site. A little lean-to looking grave thing. And we ate dinner at a fish place last night. Are you gonna say something, Alex?
Okay.
Keep babbling incoherently. Blah 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 blah. Blah